Hello, 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 hello. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, regardless of where you're joining us from. It's 7 p.m. in my neck of the wood, and Sunday evening. Guess what? It's time to connect. All right, so I am really, really excited. I trust that your Sunday has gone pretty well, and your week, really, the week that has gone by since the last time that we were right here, doing this. We had part 3, I believe it was, or part 2 it was, of the Future of Work series, which is the first series of the 5th season of the Connect. And we had Francis Uka, chairman of the Enugu State CIPM, having a very, very interesting discussion and conversation about the future of work. Great insights. If you missed that, you want to be able to catch the recording on my LinkedIn page and YouTube page. And then good news, good news. Also, we are going to be streaming to Facebook at some point in this month, probably the last episode of the month. All right. And that's because we had issues with the old accounts and then the new accounts were set up, and we need a 30-day period to be able to do live streams on a brand new Facebook account, all right, profile. We're also working on the page, so more platforms, a plethora of platforms by which you will have access to the recordings and to the live stream as well. So it's great to be here, and I'm super excited. To everybody joining us on LinkedIn, it's good to have you here. I see you. To those of you on YouTube, I see you. Apologies, because we have multi guests today. We will not be streaming on Instagram. If we had just one guest, we would have done the Instagram streaming because of the technicalities of Instagram. But hey, you know what? All these things will be sorted as we go along. We want this on every platform, as many, wherever it is that you stream. We want you to be able to access the Connect. Right. So it's the future of work, and I really want to get into the conversation today. I just had a phone call from one of my guests. He's going to be coming in a little bit early, but guess who is in the house? Right. So before I get to one of my guests who's already in the house, let me do a bit of backdrop on, even as I check the dashboard for a couple of messages that I've seen that have come in. Thank you very much for the messages. Some of the questions that were asked in the course of the week, I will do my best to throw them up so that my guest and myself can hazard an attempt to answer your questions. But let's deal with today, the future of work, part 3. Mm. So, in a post that went up on social media in the course of the week, I said that there was last Sunday and then there's this Sunday. And why am I particular about this Sunday? Because after what we will discuss today, I honestly don't know what else will be said. And it's not because it's not wholly because of the subject matter. It is actually because of the people discussing it. I promise you guys that there will be a lot of fire. Hmm. So I have a guest in the house, right? It's her first time to the Connect. All the Tasafo people on Facebook and everything that have been following, especially you Abuja people. You have and Enugu people as well. Because apparently she had already shown fire in Enugu before she started showing the fire in Abuja. So when the flyer went up, the Enugu people first of all started shouting, like, eh. Then the Abuja people, they will take their time to thaw from their eyes. And then they now start shouting. So this introduction is not for you. It is for the people in the diaspora. I don't know whether she has carried a wala there as well. I really don't know. But for the people in the diaspora and for people in other, spheres in Nigeria and Africa, because we have a crazy rich, right? So let me attempt to, you know, let me tell you something. I asked her to send me a profile. I made a mistake. I forgot to say send a brief profile. So it started from there, right? Then she sends me her profile. It's a book. It's colored. It has it's locked in PDF. It's nicely fonted profile. All right, but don't worry. That's not really why we're here today, but it's fine. It's fine. Um, and I'm gonna put up a profile on the tickler, which is an abridged version of what I got. And let me just do this. The first person that's coming in today, that's joining us, who's already on ground, is none other than somebody that I have quite a lot of respect for. She's such a firebrand. Her name is Soluchi, and Soluchi is phenomenal. She's a talent management specialist, HR business partner, and performance coach. So they're the kind of performance coaches that you have that will, talk you into performance. Soluchi will pull you into performance. Soluchi will pull you into performance. Um, I mean, she has over 18 years experience, well over 18 years. That 18 years is like government 18 years. She has well over 18 years because, if you're talking about 18 years, you're talking about 18 years post graduation. Now, people like Soluchi have been doing this, however, maybe unstructured from when they were small. Ginger people and motivators that push you to do so really, in the scheme of things, with or without a structure, she's been doing talent maximization. She's been doing peak performance, driving, and all of that. But I'm going to leave you to read the tickler. And in the course of it all, I'll come back to approval at some point. Why? Because I'm eager to get her into the studio. So it's her first time to the Connect. Ladies and gentlemen, with your virtual hands, put those hands together. And I am bringing her into the studio right now, none other than the phenomenal Soluchi.
I was just I was just smiling throughout. I was like, who is he talking about? What's going on?
I hear you. I hear you. So, Uchi, what's up? It's great to have you. It's your first time on the Connect. And I think it was 2023 or so that we wanted to get you on, but for some reason we just couldn't make that arrangement. And I reached out to a couple of people to get to you because I didn't have your contact at that time. I'm confessing now. I had a contact before, then I didn't have it. Then I got it
Two
again
years
with
ago.
style. When I got it, she didn't even know I was getting, but I'm confessing on live TV, so it's okay. He that confesses on live TV must be forgiven because of the Constitution.
You're forgiven.
Right.
You're forgiven.
So we wanted to do this a long time ago. So I'm actually very excited, Soluchi, that you're here. And there's a question I usually ask first timers before, regardless of what the subject matter is. And it's this one question: what are you thankful for, Soluchi?
I'm thankful for. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
absolutely.
I'm thankful for the opportunity to do what I love and still get paid for it.
Hmm.
I'm very
Hmm.
thankful.
Thankful for the opportunity to do what you love and still get paid
Yes,
for it.
it's
Amazing.
it's not often that you get that opportunity to be right in the middle of what you love doing and not wake up every morning hating it. So I'm so grateful that I
Mm.
do what I love, and I'm not just doing it. It's not a hobby. It's actually my job, and I get paid for it. So that's for me. That's like yeah, that's a called it fulfillment for me there. So that's one thing.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think that's something that if half the world had that,
Yeah. Mm,
Soluchi, the world would be a better
I
place.
agree.
Because many people waking up enduring what they
Yep.
do. As a matter of fact, those are the nice ones. Those are the nice ones. The other ones actually wake up hating, loathing on what they do,
Mm,
and sick of what they
mm,
do. And somebody broke this down to me many years ago when I was in the banking industry. And the person said to me that you spend most of your adult life working. It had better make
yeah.
sense.
Yes.
That's what the person said.
Yes.
However you choose to interpret that, it had better make sense.
And it's strange that people think that when you're talking about you spend most of your life working, they're thinking of 9 to 5. It's not just even about the 9 to 5. It's even worse if you're an
Wow.
entrepreneur. is worse because that one
Mm,
is not 9 to 5,
mm.
is 9 to 9. There's,
It's all
it's,
nice to
yes,
know.
it's round the clock. So, yes, it had better make sense. Whatever it is that you're doing, that you are creating energy for and you're releasing energy for, it had better be worth it, because if it's not, that energy you're releasing, it will become very draining and you don't have any way of it pouring back to you. Because if you're releasing energy for what you like, you are releasing energy and it's
Mm.
pouring all the way back to you. So it had better be worth it, really. I agree with that.
True that, true that, true that. I agree with you. So we're gonna get to our conversation
Sure.
today. We literally has started.
Yes.
So we're talking about the future of work, right? Part three. And I was saying to someone that I'm not sure that there's going to be part four. Why? Because I don't know what's going to come after Solution is done.
Please, oh, this hype,
I
this
honestly,
time,
honestly
God,
don't
I
know.
beg you.
I honestly don't
I
know.
beg
No, no, no. It's not. It's not hype. It's not hype. It's not hype because I don't even know if LinkedIn is going to ban me or YouTube is going to ban me after this. I don't know. I don't know what solution is going to do because you guys know that this is very unscripted, right? The connect is unscripted.
So let me
There's
confess.
no
Let
anything.
me
There's no line
confess.
of questions.
I need to confess. When you first told me, and I didn't see any script, I was like, they want to put me into trouble. I was like, they want to put me into trouble. That unscripted is one kind, so everybody gets to see my expression. I'll just say things. When it's scripted, I'm packaged. But this one, no, I'm out.
You know how to put it together.
So I mean,
I can assure you that this one is very unscripted. I can assure you. So whatever trouble you enter it alone. My own is I'll just say, I just invited her. That's all. Oh. I'm not liable for anything that she said. I just invited
hey,
her.
okay.
And that's all.
So
That's
if you find
all.
if
I'm
you
preparing
find
my
me if
escape.
you find me speaking slowly, just know that I'm thinking, so that I will be invited back and so that we'll have more interaction.
Like no, no, so guys, get that every time you see us speaking slowly, just know that there was something we're trying to dodge. Bear with us, bear with us. Let's talk about the future of work.
Right.
All right. So the background today says that so I attended an event where I was speaking. It was an event that was hosted by Jobberman and the Mastercard
Right.
Foundation, and it was talking about the future of work and how people need to be able to move, to be able to make sense of what they
Mhm.
do. Much more than that, also positioning themselves for what the future look like.
Mhm.
And one of the questions I was asking then was, what does the future of work look like? And as I was saying to you in a conversation that we had shortly before we came live, that it's difficult to fully appreciate the projections of the future without seeking to take what's coming from the past. Not that you're going to dwell there. I often say that, look, life is a combination of three things: the experiences of the past, the occurrences of now, and the promise of the future.
Mhm.
And so, for you to make the promise of the future believable, you must show in your now that you've learned lessons from your
Right.
past. Because if you haven't shown that you've learned lessons from your past, then your promise of the future cannot be believable.
Mhm.
So when we look at it in that context, Salucci, I'm saying how, as we're going to x-ray what the future of work looks like, let's even start from what work looked like, and very importantly, what work looks like now. Who is fitted for work now that stands a chance of becoming a dinosaur tomorrow? And I know where I'm pushing you
I
to, so
know.
go ahead.
I know.
And who is coming from where yesterday that just doesn't is clueless about what the future holds. So I'm just going to yield to you, Solucci. I will interject as I like, but
Uh,
trust me, this is designed to set you up.
it's,
But go
it's
ahead,
already
go ahead.
setting me up. Let's see, what was work like then? Um, Pretty much traditional, pretty much formal. And I'll say that people were just grateful to get what they got. So there was some form of not dignity of labor, but I'll call it pride in whatever it was you were doing at that time. There was no fixation on titles. There was nothing fancy about what is it that you do. It was more like, I'm out of school and I need a job, and I need to align myself with wherever my skills can take me. And it was pretty much that people could just take whatever it was that they could get, and they were grateful for it. And a lot of people poured themselves into that. So I'll talk about it from both sides. So for the employers, the job roles were not so fluffy. It was more about, let's get the company going. Let's get people who can just help us to do stuff. And the roles were more traditional. And on the employee side, it was, I'm eager to do it, whatever it is. Okay, so how much are you paying me? I'm going to go from here and move. I would say there was some form of contentment, with where you were in your career. Are you still there? Why did you disappear?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Just go
okay, okay.
ahead. I want you
Okay,
to
okay,
leave the
okay.
trouble alone.
I'm not
Go
used to
ahead.
looking at just myself. So yeah. Anyways. So I mean that was there. And but I think, with the change in economy and how things were, people started wanting more. The businesses started wanting more. Employees also started wanting more. And so the job titles began to change, and people just decided that it just wasn't enough to stay on a job role for how long and all of that. Of course, with the advent of technology, AI, even way before AI, just for the fact that things started changing in terms of how work was, designed. Employees started wanting more, and started understanding that it was important that they grow in their career, and the organizations had some form of responsibility in helping them to grow their careers. So, but I think that that's where the tension started in, trying to put a balance between what the talents wanted and what the businesses wanted. Some businesses were not quick to change with the type of talent, because the more we churned out talents from school, their ideologies about work, they were changing. There was a lot of creativity, innovation. People just wanted to do things differently. Some businesses were slow to catch up with that. And also, some talents were slow to catch up with how work is done. So then I would say a little bit more, I won't call it fulfillment, I'll call it contentment. But now a little bit more of hunger for more. Like I believe I can give more, and a little bit more demand for value. Now, again, that's where the tension is. As an employee, you're demanding for value. And a business is saying, okay, if you're demanding for more in terms of, and value here, of course, we're talking about exchange, not just money, but in the benefits, again, in the fluffiness of the titles. And,
Yeah.
everybody just wants to be a certain way or have some pride in what they do. The businesses also started demanding more. Unfortunately, it's not as if
Hmm.
the education system improved. It's not as if some people that were demanding more actually made an attempt to give more value, because it's one thing to look the part.
Hmm.
So people started looking the part, but when it came to giving the value, it's not there. So the CVs were designed nicely. The answers in the interview, well, very nicely, thought of. You go and read it up somewhere and you spew it out. I am multifaceted. I can do this. I can do that. Get to the work. And so organizations became more
Hmm.
frustrated, because with advent of social media simply meant there was simply more packaging. More packaging doesn't mean I have more
Yeah,
value.
true.
So
True.
the packaging became
Hmm.
tighter and nicer. And again, I will use the word fluffy because it just reminds me of something that is swollen, but there's nothing inside. It's air.
They're
It's
empty.
empty. It's
Yeah.
air. It's empty. So businesses are struggling because there's
When you just said that, I just remember the particular confectionery. I won't call their name, but I'm still praying for them,
honestly,
for
I was
God to
thinking of a
forgive them.
snack as well.
All bloated, but really nothing inside. Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
And there's also the problems are it's a vicious cycle. So there's also the what we call talent flight. a lot of the
Mm,
top talents are deciding that this operating environment is stifling my gifts. That's all. I can't be here. I can't operate here. I would not be able to get commensurate exchange in terms of value, in terms of my skill. So you have that brain drain or talent flight, and what's left
mm,
are people whose priorities, they are really just not. And again, this is not generalizing. This is just, you know, what's the word now? It can be that everybody's like that. I'm simply saying that
mhm.
generally that's what you have. Yeah, majority.
Majority.
You now have
Yeah.
people who are more interested in, listen, I have to feed, I have to take care of my bills, I have to, so I'm going to do bare minimum, but I want much. I'm
Mm,
going to do bare minimum,
mm.
but I
Now,
want much.
and how does that play out? Because from what you said, so if I'm forgive me for interjecting, actually, don't forgive me because I'll be
Yes,
doing that a
let's
whole
do.
lot. From what you've said, right? We can now compartmentalize
Yeah.
this, right? So there is the labor market, or the market as I like to call it. There are now people that are trying to get into the labor
Mm,
market. Now there are now people that are already in the labor market,
right.
but are not delivering as much as
Right.
they ought to, or
Right.
they are not seen to be delivering as much
Right.
as they ought to. So one of the things that one of the reasons you alluded to was, look, you know what, the world is flatter now.
Mhm.
People have access to more
Right.
information and more stuff. So there's more packaging. But what just came to my head is that same access that you have to package yourself is the same access you could use to grow yourself. Yeah,
Yes.
the same energy you use to build yourself up.
You see what?
Because you know why I'm
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
this. You know why I'm saying this. Sorry, Richard, let me just say, you know why I'm saying this? Because one of the things I've come to see, right, is that people are no longer looking for, to employ people that are just task completers. That's like a bare minimum that is no longer required. Before, that you'll be able to complete a task is a great thing if you are coming from one era to the next,
Mm.
right? But now people are looking for co-creators of work. And there's a huge variance between just a mundane task finisher or a task completer and a co-creator. Now, somebody comes with the embellishment of a co-creator and can't even complete task.
So
Okay, sorry, I forgot. It's solutions that's meant to be the one doing this. Okay, first you go ahead. You go ahead. You
listen,
go ahead.
listen. No,
You
see,
go ahead.
you're right. And when you were talking, I said to myself, and you said that there won't be a part four. There will be a part four, part five, part six, part seven. Why? The issues are deep. Again, vicious cycle. So let me create the scene for you. We're looking for co-creators, right? We're looking for people who go beyond their JD. That's for me the simplest way that
Mm,
I explain it. You don't tell me this is not in my JD, I'm not going to do it. People who look beyond the job role, what I was, hired to do. There's that. There's the part that you talked about. The same energy that you're using to package, you can actually use it to grow. So this is the tension. Some people feel like I have value, I can grow, I can add value, but the businesses are not willing to pay me what is commensurate for what I bring to the table.
okay. Okay.
What and
Mhm.
because there are lots of businesses that will say, okay, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. 2 weeks into the job, you find out that it's also fluff. And then there's the rollback. No, I can't.
Hold on. Say that part again. Say that part
there,
again. Let's say
there
that part.
is there is
There are
also
some Nigerian
yes,
businesses
there
that
is
need to
also
hear
the
this.
fluff of a lot of promises that look good on the offer letter, but you step into the organization, it's nothing like you were promised. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. By the time they deduct
Mm,
what you negotiated as your net, you'll be looking at, I have nothing left. But again, beyond the salary, there are also the benefits that are touted, but never you barely get to see it. So for someone who is willing to give value, there's that step back. Why am I giving so much for little? But however, this
mm,
is the repercussion of that. So when I talk to organizations, I talk to organizations as organizations, but I talk to the individual as the individual. We are talking about your life. It is to your detriment that you are undervaluing yourself and underplaying, and you're playing at a mediocre level. You might think you're doing the organization, you're like, giving it back to them, but you're the one going to suffer, because for every gift you do not engage, it becomes dormant, and you stay at the back, because someone who is less talented is just going to put in more work and simply go over you. And those kind of people are willing to do the seeming mundane, where they're not paid for it, they're not recognized for it, but they recognize that they're building skill muscle. That skill muscle is what will propel you for your next high paying job. Listen, I've worked a job where 3 months they didn't pay me. I was going there with my suit. Oh. If you see me cracking suit like this, you think that work is the greatest work on earth. Do you understand? But I was. I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you for some reason. I can hear you. I can hear you for some reason. Are you muted? I just see.
Hear me now.
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so I was there.
Great.
Yeah, so I went there. Yes, I realized that, okay, the company was struggling. But one, I needed to be getting out of my house. Two, there was the internet and a computer. So I had to use it to read, and I was there for research. I had to use it to read, to engage myself, engage my mind. The next job I went to was the bank. But not a lot of people are patient enough to engage with these seeming moments of obscurity. You see it as obscurity, but you're building your skill. But again, I understand. It's tough. You have bills to pay.
Yeah.
However, it's your skill that will get you the money. So it's a two-way street. Yeah.
Yeah, Soluchi, right? Let me just jump in, right? Because something that you said just struck a chord with me. And there's something I've been saying to people for years, that what you need between your here and your there is understanding. Yeah. So it's a dead and moribund cadaver level kind of but there's something that you're taking out of it. Like you said, your skill muzzle. There's something that you're doing. There's even if it is the ability to manage a crisis. It's something that somebody's going to be paying you. Look, there are things I have done that were seemingly mundane 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that people pay premium for now.
You need to repeat that. Repeat that. It is lost. Nobody wants to do it. It is lost. It is no more there. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody wants instant gratification. You're looking at someone and you want what they have. That's over 20 years in the bag of nobody ever appreciating what they did and what they were doing. That's like how many years in the bag of you just simply grinding. The better you become, the more. Look, wealth is your value that will attract wealth. And the more people see your value, that's why people will call you to do stuff. There are jobs that will never be able to pay you what you're worth. Let's not even sugarcoat that. There are jobs that will never be able to pay you what you're worth. But there are jobs I have taken because the role required me to stretch. The stretch is what got me my next high-paying job. Because for you to walk into a certain room, you have to be what the room needs. Some of you are saying, I want to work in World Bank. Does World Bank want you? You come late.
Does World Bank need you?
Do they need you? Do they need you? I want to work in an oil company. Do you have? It's not just about the technical skill. There's a behavioral competence that is very necessary for places like that. Do you have it? And it's in times of obscurity sometimes that you do that stretching, because it takes the right attitude for you to keep doing something without being applauded for it, and you keep doing it.
That's where the understanding comes in, because that understanding I'm talking about, right? So I always say that in every situation, two things will happen: is either you learn what to do or you learn what not to do. And many, by experience, have seen that knowing what not to do commands a higher premium than knowing what to do. Guess what? Everybody knows what to do one way or the other. Specialists know what not to do.
Right.
I mean, a massive difference there. But if you're going through a situation and you are not taking the only time that you waste in your life, Soluchi, is the time that you learn nothing from.
Yes.
As long as you learn something from any situation, any job, anything, I don't care how dead end, moribund it is, I don't care how it lacks vision, it will teach you how not to lack vision. In other words, how to have vision. I don't care if your boss is the worst person on earth, it will teach you something. So you need to understand times and season. See, understanding is just key. You need to understand time and season. You need to understand what that job is doing in the timeline of your life. And this is what a lot of people don't get. They don't understand it. So you see it and you're like, he's not paying me, he's not doing it. But guess what? He allows you to be able to sit in a meeting and sit your butt in a meeting for 2 hours and listen in. That's some palace behavior you're learning. Mm-hmm. He allows you to be able to write a memo and build up your competence in being able to serve a document or handle a presentation, or to be able to structure chaos or
everywhere I go to teach, I tell this story. Had a boss, I don't know, God, I beg, whether he is listening.
She's about to finish. Guys, did you notice that she's speaking slowly? She's speaking slowly now, right?
Okay, so I had a boss that, in my early days, my 20s, I didn't like. I just felt that he was after my life. I'm like, why is this guy after my life? I just felt that he picked an issue with everything I did. I say this everywhere I go to train. That's the best boss I have ever had. He taught me how to be diligent, and because of how he taught me, the other jobs that I got, my other bosses started calling me Eagle Eye. I will explain. So I would write a letter. He would tell me to go and write a letter. First of all, I was always eager. Like once it was like 5 or 6, I want to go. It used to drive him crazy. He couldn't understand why I was going. I mean, funny story. One day, please, listeners, it was then in my past life. One day, I wanted to go. I went and told him that, look, that something is wrong with my dad. I need to go. The guy just looked at me and said, sit down. He gave me a 30-minute lecture. By the time he finished, there was nothing wrong with my dad. I told him, no problem, I'll sit down. My father is okay, no problem. By the time he gave me a lecture, I'm like, oh my God, this man. You know that when you're well versed in the game now, you recognize that this person is just wanted to escape, And he was trying to tell me that, that staying back is not just for fun, that when something has to be done, it has to be done. In fact, he told me, we pay you a premium so that you can have the funds to take care of your dad and have people take care of your dad. We are not here for your family. I thought it was mean, but I understood it. Of course, if you do that now, they will tell you mental health, distress leave. Oh, you are not here. Those are no problem. Then he would give me letters to write on letterhead. I would write that letter 4 times, because every one I wrote, he would take a red pen. There's something. He will correct this. He will correct that. I used to be mad, but guess what I started doing?
Sounds like me.
Before I give him that letter, I will go around the entire office. Please read this letter. Help me read this letter. Hey, help me. 5 people will read that letter. So my next job, I became so good at spotting mistakes because he taught me how to look at it 10 times over before submitting it. This day and age, it will be labeled toxic boss, toxic environment. But that stretched me to do the right thing. So for the things that you feel I'm not supposed to be doing this, I tell people a lot. You can't cut short process. I'm sorry. That thing you're running away from now, you will meet it. And I pray for you that you don't meet it where it matters, where you're sitting on some prominent position that is in the limelight, where you can't afford to make mistakes. If you are in a position where you can afford to make mistakes, be grateful, make the mistakes and learn. Because some job roles do not give you the room for certain mistakes. And that's why I said some rooms, you feel you want to be in some rooms, but there is an attitude for the room. You can't be a royal and behave anyhow. You can't be a royal and behave anyhow. There's an attitude for the room. Do you have the attitude for the room?
So let me give you a formula, right? Yes. I was teaching yesterday at an event, and I gave them a formula. It was around finance and all, business development and all. And I gave them a formula I got from a friend. And this is what it is. K plus S plus A is equals to OPC equals to or less than OPM. Now, all the maths people are already getting headache, right? Just by hearing formula. But it's not that deep. K plus S plus A. K is knowledge. S is skill. A, guess what? Attitude will give you positively or negatively correlated to OPC, other people's confidence in you and what you can do, which will translate to greater than or less than OPM, other people's money. So in other words, for you to get value come your way, you must first of all be able to inspire confidence. And for you to inspire confidence, you must have a balance of knowledge, skill, and attitude. So now, first of all, we have a triple deficit here. Let me explain, because there was the reason why I gave you that formula. We'll get into the next level of conversation. There's no knowledge. I talk to a lot of people trying to get jobs right now. Even people in systems right now don't even know enough about the sector that they're in. They don't even know enough about their operations. They don't even know enough about the culture of the organization that they're in. They don't know enough about their stakeholders in order to even try to attain, stakeholder satisfaction. They don't understand these things. They just know the A to B. Meanwhile, there's A to Z. They just know A to B of what they're doing on their desk, on their job, but don't understand that life is a system and systems function in systems. And so when you understand what the system is, you can now align. They don't get all of that. So there's a knowledge problem, Soluchi.
Yes.
Then it's a skill problem. A skill problem where there are a lot of pseudo people that walk around. Excel you cannot use. You cannot deliver a proper presentation. You cannot complete a task from A to Z because it is where it is paining me. The one that is paining you is the one that you said. The one that is paining me is the one I'm saying. So there's a skill problem. Now you have a knowledge problem. You have a skill problem. Would you not even have a good attitude? Then Soluchi, this is where the problem Africa to now come with attitude, that an entitlement attitude that thinks you should be given a break for what you don't have, that we should always contain you and your excesses, and someone else should make room for your inadequacies. A lot of people that have an idea of a thing but are well versed in how they should be treated, but have minimal or peripheral intelligence regarding the work that they're supposed to do. Don't have an idea of what the end game of the work that they're supposed to do in. And yet, here we are having a conversation about the future of work. If everybody watching this has listened, you will know that we are first of all addressing the history of work, because I am scared for what the future holds. For a people that will refuse to change, two things must happen: anchorage and adaptability. So now, Soluchi, the reason why I said that, and I think I have my second guest in the studio, because this last I'll leave this studio for both of them, and then I will know who to beg after this. So let me bring in William. William, are you there? If you're there, I need to see your camera on before I can bring you in. So once I have William's camera on, that means he's ready. I'll bring him in. So solitary. So we have a problem. There's a knowledge deficit. There's a skill deficit. There's an attitude absence. So there's no confidence. Your employers don't have confidence in you. Stakeholders don't have confidence in you. The market doesn't have confidence in you. Even you, I'm not sure you have confidence in yourself. So how are you going to be able to fit into the work of the future?
I don't know why you're asking me, because you're just reminding me, because tomorrow is Monday. You're just, sometimes I like to live in oblivion. Like, I just like to, over the weekend, I just like to feel like everything is okay, because Monday I start, getting into the headache. And I think that the problem you're describing is part of why I somehow, in the course of my work, I almost started resenting recruitment, because it became so tough. It has become so tough. Trying to sift through and trying to engage with the people to make you understand why you're not
so Solitary, just hold on a second. Virtual hands, let's welcome William. Who just strolled in. William, can you hear me? I need to know that you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, it looks like you can hear us, but we can't hear you. I can hear you. So can you hear him?
I can hear him.
We can't hear you. Please check that your mic is. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Okay, so. No, I still can't hear you, William. All right, so he's going to log back in, and then we'll get it.
Yeah, because no problem. Because I mean, I'm trying to explain to you why your why we're saying no to your candidacy. It's just there are basic issues, and so let's separate them. First of all, you have the ones that I'm hiring for example, a manager in the hospitality business, and a nurse is applying. Help me. Why?
Maybe he wants to nurse the hospitality. You see?
It's not even funny. And it's just, I don't know whether it's, I don't know, because I hear that there are some people that give, these talks that whether you're qualified or not, go for the job, apply for the job.
Especially if it's on a Monday, because you went to church and they told her you can be anything you want.
Thank you. Just go apply for the job. So I have the problem of sifting through that. Okay, I've sifted through that. There seems to be, some form of something there, skill and all of that. Then you come to an interview and you have the stinkiest attitude ever. And I'm trying to have a conversation. One said to me, I asked one, okay, what kind of environment is your preferred? As per we're in Gen Z world now, okay, what kind of environment is, your preferred environment? Because some people, like, to be isolated, just to be isolated to do their work. They like the back end. Some people prefer the brainstorming kind of environment, with your colleagues. So what kind of environment is like best suited for you that would help you to maximize your skills? And what kind of environment, sort of like stifles you? And he looks me dead in the eye to say to me, most office environments are okay for me, but I don't like working with women.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I don't like working with women. He was being interviewed by 3 women. One by 3 women. One of them did. His direct supervisor was just sitting there, or his would-be supervisor was sitting there. I looked at him. I said, "Oh, so that now made sense, because he walked in with an attitude. Immediately he walked in and saw the panel. He got an attitude. Like, why are women? See, I'm not talking about years ago. I'm talking about present day. Like, why are women, interviewing? And he actually said, I just started laughing. I was like, okay, yeah, I understand that. Thank you very much. So this is my point. Now, this is even some of the attitude you can even see already, during the interview. Let's not now talk about the ones when they are hired. what now happens? The sense of entitlement. And you're doing bare minimum. You're, like you said, you're not even fulfilling all the obligations on your offer letter. Bare minimum. And you want maximum appreciation. What we do, or what we can do, because sometimes I come at this from a point of perhaps it's ignorance, and there are people that get it. So you begin to patiently train and coach. But this is on an organization's time and money. I don't have the time to get you to the basic. The basic is at least fulfill the requirements on your JD. But this is where I say also it's a 50-50 street. 50 is a two-way street. Some of the organizations, when the employee comes in, what's on their JD is not what they are now required to do. All of a sudden, you are now putting on different things and demanding productivity from someone who is not qualified to give you that productivity.
That is a massive problem. That's a massive problem. And that happens with a lot of organizations that are not properly structured.
Yes.
So there's
I don't think it's even a structural problem as much as it is a let's get all we can get problem. So for some people, it's not a structural problem. They
out
just
of
feel,
you.
Yes. Because again, remember, most businesses, almost all businesses are there to make money. So call it the high end of capitalism. We're there to make money. So okay, you're a driver. From driver, you can let's add logistics to you. From logistics, let's add procurement to you. And you are not understanding that this person, in terms of not just qualification, even personality, is not able to handle this job role, and you're placing those demands. True. Now, on the individual side, I can say, okay, you know what? It's an opportunity to stretch, but there has to be some form of balance and fairness. Then you cannot assess the person's performance based on that, because you have not equipped the person to be able to do that. And the person is not motivated enough, because now you have given me 3 people's job and still paying me one person's salary.
Exactly, and that's even assuming that the one person's salary that you're paying is commensurate.
Is even good enough for the one role.
Foundational issue of that. Yes. And then you are now ascribing other responsibilities to the person.
Yes.
And still, without necessarily expanding the portfolio.
Exactly. So we can't talk about the future of work without talking about the organization's responsibility. We can't.
100%. 100%. 100%. Because I was saying to some people that, look, it's both ways. When we speak of responsibility,
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Hear me now? Okay.
I can hear you.
Great. Sorry. So I was saying that when we speak of responsibility and irresponsibility, it cuts across. It's on both sides of the aisle. So you're looking at organizations, you're looking at individuals that are coming in. You're looking at people that, first of all, don't even know, organizations don't even have the right ethics to be able to understand how to be able to, get the best out of their people. Now, all that trying to draw every last bit of skill and opportunity out of me is not getting the best out of me. You also have a people who are not skilled enough, that do not have the right mentality, the right attitude, the right disposition to work, do not understand the bigger picture beyond getting paid on the 25th of the month, do not even understand that for them it's not, you're a cost center, but you're the first to complain when your pay doesn't come in. And I'm wondering, I'm not saying that you're not going to get paid, but do you realize that you are part of what generates revenue? So when revenue doesn't come, there's a responsibility the organization has to you. But then again, this is across that. But the question I want to ask Salucci, right, which will also bring us back a bit, right, because we've been looking at what the pathway of work has been, and how moving from traditional to a more vertical and lateral approach to work as it is now. What exactly does the future of work look like? Because now, the reason why I'm asking that, and I'll tell you this in a minute, is now we want to get people to be rightly positioned for the future. But they need to even have an idea of what that future looks like.
Right.
So what does the future of work, what do you think the future of work looks like the next 5 years, 10 years?
For me, it looks like high performing individuals who have multiple competencies. Who have multiple competencies and a large portfolio of skills. Now, I'm not talking about perhaps skills that are unrelated, but very, very complementary. So that is so easy for you to be taken from this role to this role in a few months, because once you get into one role, you don't just have the ability to perform on that role, but you see beyond that role to create value, to innovate, and to take the organization from one level to the other just by what's coming from here and just by the diverse skills that you have. So it looks like multiple competencies. It's not just here. The world, globally, people are looking for people who are super talented. Now, super talented is not the raw talent. It's the ability to transform that potential into productivity and value. That's what people are looking for. So you have people who are willing or who have the ability to wear multiple hats. They don't just get the job done. They backtrack all the way to strategy, to create, to develop, and also to firefight and know what to do. There's a place where you have to know what to do to solve the problem. So you are agile and adaptable. You don't stick to this is what I know as it was in the beginning. No, you have to be agile and forward thinking and see the future. What is the other side of it? The future also for those kind of individuals, they must be placed in operating environments that allow them to thrive, and they must be well compensated for it. Not just in terms of money, but in terms of recognition, because those individuals that are at that level, at some point, money becomes the least motivating factor.
Surely.
You don't pass me over when it's time for promotion or when it's time for recognition, and you actually enlarge the platform that I have. Because once you are able to engage a skill, you unlock the next level of the skill. And so where you were operating before becomes smaller for you. Sure. Some organizations see that they have struck Nigeria.
It has happened.
Just give me a minute, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Some organizations see that, but they're not willing to compensate for that. And so they just take it, they grab it, and undercompensate for it. Those talents do not stay. And not just in terms of money. Giving the room to allow for creativity, allow the voices be heard, allow them to pull up their ideas, and simply have an environment that encourages that innovation and creativity. So you can't say, I want this level of individuals and not be able to pay for it. If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
You get monkeys.
You pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Yes. So my job as an individual is to make sure. I'm back. My job as an individual is to make sure that I am at that level, so that I only deal with people who recognize value. Trust me, AU, there are people who recognize value.
Sure.
There are people who recognize value and are willing to pay for the value and are willing to give you the environment. I'm not being micromanaged. I am given the platform for expression, because again, at that level, you have to be given the platform for expression. You have to be given the opportunity to try and fail. You have to be given the opportunity to simply explore your skill. And the organizations where you see that people can move around, different departments and, different roles, that also gives you that, confidence. And such people, when they see that those opportunities are there, they actually stay in your organization for a long time. So the future for individuals, multiple competencies, so gifted, so skilled, so I mean, you are right there in terms of problem solving, critical thinking, adaptability, agility. Be the one that they say, if you want something to get done, call this person.
Truly.
If you want something to get done, call this person. And then organizations have to also prep for such individuals.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Solucia. One of the things that I was saying and I was thinking about whilst you were talking, and I think it was also the last episode that I talked about it. I said, look, two things must happen. I think I mentioned it earlier on. There's the place of anchorage and the place of
Yeah.
adaptation. And when you understand that, it captures everything that you've said in a way that aptly shows how people can position themselves. First of all, you must be an agile person, an agile executive.
Yeah.
You must
Yeah.
understand the principles of agile methodology for the work of the future.
Yeah.
Somebody said that it's not those who know things that will thrive in the future. It's
Uh-huh.
those who are able to learn what needs to be known. That means that there's
Yes.
there's evolving going on. It means that whatever that you know up till now, I give it just a little while, it becomes obsolete.
Of
And
course.
people have pride in what it took them to know something, that they are so
Yes.
loyal to their past. It was my last guest that said that they are so loyal to their past that they forget to embrace the future. And you're seeing, you talked about somebody saying, "Oh, I want to work in an oil and gas firm," and you don't
Uh-huh.
understand the ethics of work. You don't understand what it means to be able to deliver things according to the SOP, to be able to standardization. You don't understand what quality assurance means to your deliverables, and you think that it is just do this. You also don't understand how connected what you do is to the bigger picture. Because I tell people many times that if you want to thrive in a workplace, just forget about what your JD is. Focus on what that
Yes.
picture is, then scale down back to
Yes.
your JD. Then you will know how to deliver that JD in
Yes.
such a way that it can never be ignored and it stays relevant. And so people need to really, really get before, because I mean, with the history that we've looked at and the challenges that people are having, even adapting right now in this VUCA state of volatility, uncertainty, complexity,
Yes.
that people are struggling, then I'm, like I said, I'm concerned about what tomorrow holds. Are we just going to have people coming through the door, get there, they fall, they fall? Like you said, there are things and positions and offerings and assignments that you can't afford to make errors in.
Yeah.
And
Certain
no,
role.
no one, you are supposed to come with a level of growth that you can't buy, which means the
Mm-hmm.
process that you cannot ignore. Guess what? Like you said, you can't ignore that process. But you know what, Soluchi? It is that process that validates you.
Yep.
Because by the time you show up at that next opportunity, that number one, you recognize that opportunity. Number two, you're able to utilize the opportunity. But more than that, you're able to maximize that opportunity. And it's these things that we're talking about that positions you to be able to maximize that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is why people right now cannot fit into certain job roles that are taking over the world.
Yes. Yeah. You see, I think I must say this. Just a few weeks ago, I was thinking about how difficult it is to get people to fit into roles, and the frustration that organizations are having with performance. And it's almost like getting into a relationship and realizing it's a disaster. So I mean, at the first. Yes, now talking stage is sweet. Interview is talking stage is sweet. You're like, I found, only for you to get into the relationship 3 months into it, you're like, oh my goodness, this is a disaster. And honestly, it frustrates the organization, because it's almost as if recruitment takes you a bit further, because you think you found the person, and then by the time the person gets into work, you are taking like 10 steps backward, and you find yourself, instead of getting the results and being productive, you find yourself teaching, coaching, mentoring, which takes away productive time to make money. So I started thinking about it, that perhaps instead of creating these roles, and trying to get people that fit into those roles. How about we find a way of assessing the potential that we have and creating roles that will suit that potential to get them, yes, to get them to perform at their level. Because some people, honestly, they are willing to do it, but you have put them in roles where they can't perform because the thing you want is still in its raw form. It's still in its raw form. It needs to be activated. It needs to be developed. It needs to be harnessed. So how about doing a competency assessment of what type of skills do we have and what can these skills do while prepping them for what you think they have the potential to do, then create the roles to suit them. Because honestly, the traditional roles are harder to fill.
No, but I agree with you. But then again, as an organizational development person, I'm also saying that which is brilliant also has to be benchmarked with what the overarching objective of the organization is. Because it's not just about creating role for you. Okay, I can create role for you if all the role I create for you does not deliver what we want.
But have we tried it? But you think it's something that we have tried? Because I've seen people that I'll give you an example. I met a lady as HR, and I mean she was doing the job very well and okay, but there were things that were that was being demanded of her that she couldn't. I wouldn't say it was a lack of skill, but it just wasn't right up her alley. But it so happened that was the position she was occupying at that time. After talking with her a bit, I found out that this person is more suited for this kind of role, for a PR kind of role. So that thing that people thought that, oh, you know how to deal with people, was not in the aspect of HR, but was in the aspect of brand management. Yes, it was. So a role was created for her. She is thriving like crazy. Not even here, outside here. So honestly, I don't think that some of us, and I know it's an expensive thing to try because, hey, I started the business to make money. It's an expensive thing to try. But again, we have to look at different strategies to get what we want. It's not getting better. The top talents are leaving. It's not getting better. We are in an age of survival. People just want to earn their money and go. We are busy reciting vision, mission. What is our vision, mission? They don't send you your vision, mission, but they don't send you. Tell mission, vision. Egg is 6,000 naira. Great. I have to eat. Yeah, but those are the realities. You are telling me multiple competencies. I can barely buy a loaf of bread.
I can buy multiple things. So you want multiple competencies?
Exactly. So there has to be a balance being struck. So for an organization that's already in existence, what do I do with what I have? Because sometimes when you also overlook what you have, right, you run into problems. And those ones are like, okay, let me see. So you want to go and bring the stars, and they end up sabotaging your company with their own bad attitude and whatever it is that they bring on. So I think it's something to look at, to see what potential do we have and how do we create roles that help them to be productive.
So I think it's something I think is what looking at. I mean, after all, you've already brought them through the door because we're talking about people that are already in the system. There was a cost to acquisition. And so you don't just want all that HR acquisition cost to go to nothing. And you're trying to say, okay, what can we really do with this? And that also takes an organization that understands that there's people in business that do business with people in business. So the human side of it is absolutely important. Human capacity development is absolutely important. Because just as the person is looking for how to be able to buy that crate of egg, organizations is saying, how do we ensure that bills we can pay? How do I survive as a business? And so that balance has to come. But you know what? Here's the thing about balancing. I just glanced at my wristwatch. I don't know how we did it, but I thought you just looked at the time
I just did. I
too.
just, I
I
just
just looked
did.
at the time and I'm like, how on earth did we cross the hour mark? Okay, so we need to pack this in. Like I'm not done. I am not done.
That's why I told you. I told you that there has to, because I thought we were just getting into it, because I was going to get into, you know what? Now that's for people who already have people. Let's get to
Okay,
recruitment.
okay.
How
So
do we recruit? We
so
have
wait,
to change. I was
wait,
just
wait.
thinking
So this
about
is what
it.
we're going to do. This is what we're going to do now. We're going to do this is part one of part three. So this is
Okay.
part one of part three. So I'm going to publicly get you to accept to come on next Sunday. Thank you,
I
Soluchi.
know
Thank you. I've
now.
already
Abba
said thank you
now.
very much. we will
That's
we
not
will find the time, but
fair.
it has to happen. If it can't happen next Sunday, it will happen very soon because we're not done. We're
That's
not
fine.
done. We're not done unpacking this
Not at
because we're
all.
taking it one after the other, and there's no part of this
Yes.
that can just be swept under the carpet. Honestly speaking,
Yes.
and you see that
Yes.
thing that you just brought up, I am going to so build something around it because truly, 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 you've already spent time, energy, resources bringing,
Exactly.
and there was
Exactly.
something that you saw. Somehow, there isn't a connect between what you want and what they're bringing in. The question is, what can they do that still serves you? So there's an economic angle to it. There's a business angle to it. What can they do that serves you? And then craft it in such a way that it still delivers something that contributes significantly to the delivery of the
All right.
organization. And I think that's just amazing. So we already have a white paper coming out of this. My goodness, there's no Soluchi final word, but you know what? Just because every episode ought to end with final word, I don't do final. You know the way you don't like hi guys. I don't do I don't do hi
Like,
guys.
no, you know I don't like it.
I don't do final one. But you know what? Just give us your just leave something with everyone. Even as we shut down.
Okay, I would say, for individuals, it's to your utmost benefit that you keep being a person of quality, regardless of the environment that you find yourself, because it's going to speak for you sometime, someday. It will speak for you sometime, someday. It is to your utmost benefit that you keep acquiring the skill, that you keep, upskilling. Just keep being a person of high
Hmm.
performance, regardless of the operating environment. It will speak for you. Like, I'm speaking from experience. And for organizations, you must be willing to recognize top talent, recognize the environment they love to operate in, and be willing to honestly exchange value for it, and give them the platform to stretch their skills even more. It's a two-way street. Again, if you pay peanuts, you're going to get monkeys.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Soluchi. Enjoy
Thank
your time, your
you.
heart,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
everything with us. It's been
Thank you.
amazing. And like I said, we will
Thank
work
you.
out something that has you coming back because we are so
Sure.
not done with
Sure.
this. William, apologies
Sure.
to everybody. William apparently had some massive network issues when these things got. All right, so
Issues.
we're in different locations in Nigeria right now, right? If three of
Right.
us are in different
Right.
locations in Nigeria, and when network catches you where it is, trust me,
It
you guys
catches
don't
you.
understand.
Yes. I mean, it's raining. It's raining here. That's why
And
like when it's raining here.
exactly,
So,
so they're just different
um,
things. So, but we're glad that we're able to have a quality and the depth of what we had all through today. Again, thank you so much. You
thank
guys, I hope
you.
you noticed when she
Thank
started
you.
talking slowly, she did it like 3 times, right? She did it like three times when she paused and said talking slowly. You know what
Oh
that
my
means? We already gave you
goodness.
the code at the onset of the program. All right.
Oh
So
my
thank you
god.
so
Thank
much, and
you.
have a super great week. And all, make sure to share the
Thank
videos
you.
with kids and keen and people that you think have sense, as I always say. So we'll see you again. Keep